Hi, I'm Dan Lutz, and welcome to the Frontlines. With streaming issues, update the operating system. First, it wasn't connecting um, by the streaming software connecting to YouTube. It kept connecting, reconnecting. I tried to reset the computer, and it went into an OS operating system update. Said it would take 37 minutes. And so I don't know what it's doing now. It seems to be cycling through things. So I figured that I would come on and let you know that there is that I'm having streaming issues, and it should be about maybe 45 minutes or so before it'll be ready. Oh, actually, it's 37 minutes was not a good estimate then. Hang on a second. Seem to only take 5 minutes to do this. It said installing 37 minutes to go. And suddenly it's updating or it's asked me to log in. So we'll see. We do have some other bomb drops that have been happening, but I think they're all small ones, but one may be a big one, and that's what we were going to kind of talk a little bit about today, and that was a Senate report given out on Wednesday about what's happened with Hunter Biden and all of his connections in the Ukraine and about extortion and other things of that nature. So this report was just given out. I'm sure it was not covered by the mainstream media. I'm sure that they're not going to even mention it. But I would say this would be a bomb drop because that will also implicate his father. So even though uh, this is just a report, it is a big bomb that's gone off. Um, and as I said yesterday, peace being declared by South Korea and North Korea, it's a big deal. I mean, it hasn't happened in 70 years. They've been at it, So now that's like just one step. System is giving me that same screen about 37 minutes again. So yeah, it's going to take a while. See, look. So I don't know how long it's going to take to do this. So anyway, well, I'll just chat with you a little while here and discuss the world and see where we'll go from there. Uh, Trump is extraordinarily confident, and you can see at his rallies, the number of people showing up is extraordinary. He's hitting these battleground states, Ohio, Pennsylvania, Minnesota. he's going to basically bring it, I think, in a landslide beyond belief. Um, I do believe that they are getting ready to replace Biden. That he will be. They will bring in Michael, as the replacement, and I think Harris will also be replaced. But we'll see. It could be that Biden's replaced with Michelle, and that's their gambit, right? I don't think it's going to play well at all, but I think that's what they're going to do. I think that was their grand plan. That being said, that being said, if this was their plan, and we've suspected for all these months, 6, 8 months, we've been talking about this, that means Biden actually is not going senile. He's not having a mental condition. It's an act. All right. Otherwise, what's the reason for them to exchange someone out in the last minute? It all fits a script, right? It all fits. Hey, this is the tail wagging the dog scenario. They write out the script in Hollywood, in advance, and they play it through, and they do all those their scenarios. And they say, okay, this is our plan, and they execute it, and that's what we're seeing unfold. So But I just don't see how, with all of the support that Trump is getting, these massive rallies everywhere he's going, these are people that don't vote normally, that's left the Democratic Party and then joined the Republican Party in just Pennsylvania, as that map showed us, and also joined Independence. I mean that they lost a 91, was it 91,000 Democrats, and they gained Independents and Republicans. That's a mass exodus. So no matter what kind of shenanigans they want to try and pull after Election Day, I think it's well known. Uh, as we went over that timeline yesterday, I don't think there's any possibility that we're going to see the whole country dissolve. I do think that we're going to see them trying to execute their plans. I could see California trying to basically ask China for help. I don't think it will hold. I think that Knudsen will go down for treason. They will remove him because that is, basically at that point, then there's probably enough proof there to show, that the treasonous actions, that they will go down. And after all, the Republicans will sweep in on the in the House as well. This will be such a landslide that no one has seen before, because everyone's seeing what the Democrats are supporting. Hello, Lisa. I get this. Well, interesting thing, when I'm on my phone, I'm getting these little messages that pop up. I don't know if it appears on the video though. Interesting to know. So yeah, this is I should put like a fire, like the fire burning in the fireplace there, and it'd be like the fireside chat. uh, well, some people say that the audio on my cell phone, holding it like this is better. Okay, I says, where do you get your news? I've been looking for actual news. Well, go to wwg1wga.love Telegram group. It's probably not in it might be in the description of this video. At least on one of the others, you can see the Telegram group. Most of the things are posted there, and I feed more. There's a few other people that send me stories and things like that, and I bring those out. On some things, I just go on, I research. So, it does take some research to kind of find certain things when you're looking for them. You gotta kind of be a dog on the hunting trail, right? You burrow down and you figure out what's going on, and then you kind of follow where it's going to take you. And then I just draw my conclusions. I connect the dots. The dot connecting, is I take a pure guess, right, on a lot of things, right? I just try and look at what I see as a trend or a pattern, and I try and put those things together. So not everything is going to be listed in a story somewhere, but for the most part, there's a lot of sources. I actually had lined up to show a lot of interesting things that came in the Telegram group. There was an interesting sign in Idaho, right? When we're coming down the freeway and you're entering Idaho, and you see the sign says "Welcome to Idaho," and then there's another sign that's just underneath that. I'm pretty sure one of the residents there decided to post that sign. It looked like it's an official sign, but it said, "Be sure to vote conservative." and leave your there's a reason why you're leaving the liberal states. Don't bring it here, something like that. I thought that was a pretty good one. And so there's a couple of memes like that I thought were pretty good. I wanted to show you that were all lined up. Now we're down to 27 minutes remaining, so I don't know why I decided to do the update. And then real news, I expect a public announcement on the 18th. Oh, it disappeared. I couldn't see it. I wonder if I can make that come back. All right, just forget about it. Anyway, so I don't think that there's any way for them to be successful as we were the deep state being successful and overturning and breaking up the states. I do think they're going to make a play. I think it's inevitable because it's their life. Let's come back up. Definitely check your Telegram out. Glad to see a smart person finally getting. uh, uh, well, I get to read. Oh, here it's back. Giving real news. I am always voting my man Trump. Yeah. You know, I actually wish I was able to have voted for Trump last time. I tried to look and see how do I vote this time, and I'm in a quandary because I have to select a state if I want to get an absentee ballot and then vote here. But there might be another way, and I was trying to look into that. So I'll remember to go back and look again. But I'm doing my part to try and support, the direction we're going. My my inclination is go back to California. Last place I was in Nevada. But I was only in Nevada for the last, 2 years. And then before I came to the Philippines. So before that, I was in California most of my life. And I love California. I hate what they've done to it. But I've seen it up front and personal. Actually, everything that's happened in California, the anti-business climate, I could see it coming a mile away. And I talked with many people that would just never go back to California. The system, the regulations set up to strip you of money and give them some sort of kickbacks, through you open a business and you have to be to code, and their codes are crazy. I gave a story once before about a bakery called Artisan Bakery, and how they were really screwed over by Los Angeles, the city of Los Angeles. Had to pay much higher electricity rates than the previous bakery that was in there, but they should have had the same rate. That was the law. They didn't need to do all of the upgrades because it was an existing bakery. It was like same bakery going on. You don't have to update everything, but they made him do everything, and that wasn't in his budget. It cost him millions of dollars. A huge building. It was like 10,000 square feet, and he was just totally. When the lease was over, he closed the business and left. It's a wonderful idea, though. Artisan Bakery, renting out the spaces, for all these other small bakers to come in. They couldn't afford to do things, and they had a front retail section, so all of those different bakers could put their product in for people to buy. Amazing different types of breads and things. Wonderful, creative idea, ruined by the regulations of Los Angeles. And someone who would never go back to California ever again, or Los Angeles. He said, I think he left. I think he did leave. I forget what state he went to. But this is across the board. Those kind of things are chasing all businesses out, because in communism, right, it's going to be, or this new progressive system. This is like this progressive model, which is communism light, meaning there'll be big business, right? So this is their new idea. Okay, the big business is the ones that would be called too big to fail, right? Will be hand-in-hand partners with the state, with the government, and so it's a collusion between those businesses. So no small business. So no, you can't have your own small business. Only the big businesses. Only the Walmarts. Only the Facebook and big tech companies. All of is national socialism, where the businesses are owned privately, but they're controlled by the government. That's what the Nazi system was. So that you have all these people running around, Antifa and anti-fascists, but they're actually wanting to put in this new progressive system, which actually is what they say they're against. It's their stupidity because they were not taught how to critically think, how to connect the dots, right? They can't do it. They just take the rhetoric, the dogma, and you can't have a counter to it. There's no argument with them, right? It's only this way. If you're not, then you're college, because it's all about shutting down your ability to communicate. Anyway, but even though this has gone on, California can be saved. There are a lot of conservatives in California. They've been there, and they've scratched their head, because usually, they'd get a liberal come in, and then they'd elect a new conservative governor, or the head of one of the big cities, and they bring in the conservatives to fix the problems that the left behind, and people were upset, and then they stopped winning elections. And so it's not that those people left or changed their mind. I think that the votes were rigged. I think they've rigged the elections in California for a very long time, and this is why it's gone this way. It was really sabotage, or sabotaging the system, or corrupting the system, but they allowed them to steal away the power from the people, so that you couldn't correct anything. Because things are not getting better. Things are getting worse and worse. Normally that changes. So if that's not working, it must be rigged. And so I think that's what we're seeing has happened. But that being said, California can be saved, but it requires the people to stand up at the right time, which this is, for the ability to change the system being in the hands of Trump right now is the reason why it can be successful, because on the federal level, we're going to be seeing a cleanup of these practices. Those people that have been corrupted within the system are going to be removed. Over the last 10 years, we could see that it got to a very was so bad. I experienced in California. I was in court in several. I said some 5-7 different places all at the same time, all because I'm opening offices in a guidance with the law. But the corruption was basically there to basically say, well, we're just not going to go by the law. We're just not going to allow you to do business. All right. And I'll give you an example. Whenever you have you go into a government office and you're going to apply for a license to do business, get a business license, they're going to give you a form, and you're going to fill out the form. Right? You're going to pass back the form, and they're going to review it. When they review it, they will have to basically approve it, deny it, or make it pending. There has to be some conclusion to that, right? But I experienced filling out the form, pushing it through the window, and then the city official on the other side pushes it back through the window and says, well, we can't touch that. Well, what do you mean you can't touch it? It's your duty. Right? It's your fiduciary duty to basically process this paperwork. It's for the public. So you have to deal with it. And they send a letter from their attorney. So here's what the city attorney says. I said, oh, okay. So I got that. And then I came back the next day, same document with my attorney. Passed it through. They pushed it back out. And I said, oh, sorry, we can't touch that. I said, it's your duty. So then my attorney got on the phone with they called the city attorney, and they said, well, we'll have to file a writ of mandamus against the city, which would then force them to do their fiduciary duty to make it, to approve it, deny it, or make it pending. Well, they denied it. Boom. Said, wonderful, that's great. I opened the very next day. What do you mean? Well, they denied it, but I disagree with them. So what's the recourse? You go to court. So I went to court. And that went on and on and on for 5 years in that one location, just battling in court. Now, this is something completely legal, right? But they didn't want it. But that's not for them to say, right? It's for them to make up. If they wanted to make it illegal, they could do that. But then, if the method that they went about and said, no, we're not going to allow that. I could challenge it, and I would, and if they went up to the next level of court, that's the process. But if they deny that, that's corruption. And that's what they were doing across the board. So I seen a lot in California. They've also made things so expensive, that you can't comply. I'll give you an example. There was a 800 square foot office space, right? It just needed to have some partitions, put up with some doors and an air conditioning system and I guess some lights. So they came back with the amount of upgrades to that 800 square foot place would cost over $150,000. How could any startup business maintain, their ability to do anything if they had to do that? So what do most businesses do? They don't tell the city what they're doing, right? They just go ahead and they put up the walls and they try and do it best they can and do it to code, and but they don't tell, right? Because of the ridiculousness of the regulation that comes in. So this whole level of corruption against small business is there to stop small business. They don't want any a big business at all. What they want is, I'm sorry, I was just reading the message. This is kind of convenient. Get this to read, but it does interrupt the flow. But this is the whole concept is to eliminate all these small business, only have the big businesses, right? And then they will then, that means that you will never have a leg up. You'll always get, hey, we'll raise your minimum wage, but minimum wage always becomes a maximum wage. My system finally came back on, but that's all right. 23 minutes in. So I will attempt to get it back up and running. This is not going to be the video that was scheduled, the one that we're on right now. So there will be another video starting. Yes, God wins. That is it. And the depth of the problem is so deep, it may take generations. I don't think it will take generations at all. Because when you shine the light in the darkness, guess what happens? It immediately vanishes. And that's what we're going to see happen. We're going to see it immediately vanish. We're going to see this because what we're going to be able to come together on is the most horrific thing. And we know what that pedivore system, mechanic pedivore system that's there. Everyone will agree and come together to fight that, to remove those people. What we've been watching is it all coming up to the level of our consciousness to realize, and I have a lot of that also was lined up to show you. So we'll be switching over, probably take another 10 minutes. My system is just going, I guess it's continuing its install. And so we will see the people coming together over this horrific issue. What follows behind that is the treason, sedition, insurrections, all of this. Well, obviously, if they're able to do this, pedivore satanic stuff, which in most people's eye will be much worse than the treason, right? Because people don't understand treason. It hasn't, they don't know how that affects them. Someone who is a traitor, Well, that's in a movie, you know, that's something, oh, they didn't want to like go along with what the government was saying. See, they don't get it. They don't get what treason is about. They don't know how it affects them. The other stuff they know. But it will be made obvious at the end of this process that everyone will understand what that means to have. They was asking me to, so I lost connection for a moment there, and it keeps disconnecting and reconnecting. All right. When cigarettes went over $9 a pack, when I burned rubber. All right. So, um, yeah, I get pack. Well, can you imagine if you don't have any ability to have your own business, what those big businesses will do when they have the monopoly, right? How much the prices of those things. So it doesn't matter what your minimum wage they raise it to, which becomes your maximum wage. They will raise the price of everything. All right, let me this. It's like always stop and start, stop and start. Oh, sorry. I'm back.